Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leanne. Today I want to talk about impressing on the subconscious. So why is it that I say that you'll impress on your subconscious if you visualize before you go to sleep or when you initially wake up? Well, as I of course mentioned in a past video, it's because you're in that theta stage, and that's like kind of like that time between sleep and awake, and it's faster to impress on your subconscious. Now, how do we know that that works, right? Well, if you think about hypnosis, that's kind of the same thing. Like they're putting you under, but you're still aware of your surroundings. However, you're able to be impressed upon because your subconscious is at that relaxation state. You know what I mean? So that's why it does actually work. Even though, I say a million and one times you really don't need techniques, but I do find that the visualizing helps. Now, you might have had some moments where you're sitting there and you're thinking about something like, I don't know, let's say you're thinking about, a steak dinner or something that you're going to have that night, and you can almost like taste it, you're like maybe even salivating and thinking about, what you're going to have on the side and the gravy or whatever. And it feels so real. Well, when you close your eyes and you visualize, it feels so real as well. So when you get into that feeling of it so real, that's the reality, because anything that you can think about is the reality. You are one of those versions somewhere in the quantum field. So if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking that, I'm having that steak dinner, well, summer I am enjoying a steak dinner. Now I want steak. But anyways, so yeah, it really does work. Try it for yourself if you're, not sure about it, because the only way to really, truly test it, I guess, is to test it yourself. And that's what I did before I started talking about it, before I can confirm that these things actually do work. I did test them myself because I thought it was a bunch of woo-woo. I thought, this is not true. How could your thoughts create your lifestyle? Like, that's just BS, But when I started implementing it into my life, I was floored at how easy it is and how it really is like that really is how we create our life. Well, create the 3D, I should say, because our lives are already created. It's already out there. Like, all the versions of you is out there somewhere. You're just stepping into that state. You're just choosing what version of you that you want to be, and it's like every second you are a new person every second. So like, if I say to myself right now, I'm happy, right in this second, I'm happy. I am happy. Now, if I stay in that, I'm happy, I'm going to start seeing things in my 3D that's showing me that I'm so happy. So that's why, like, you don't want to waver. And I've done that too. And I know it's hard, like, if you're not feeling good, it's hard to sit there and say, I feel incredible, if you're throwing up. But I have had moments, I remember in the past, I didn't want to be a burden. I had had a knee operation, and I had to use crutches, and instead of sitting there and thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm never going to walk, I'm always in pain, and I just did things with the crutches and acted like everything was normal and that it's, it's going to be fine, it's going to heal pretty fast. And I was able to, do things still in my life that I normally, thought that I wouldn't do. Like, I even went dancing. I know I probably shouldn't have on that knee, but I didn't focus on my knee being in pain and not being able to do things and all my limitations. I focused on, okay, well, let's just modify how I'm going to get to that store, or how am I going to carry these groceries, or, like just modify my life around it. And it's almost like a blink of an eye. Like all of a sudden I wasn't walking with crutches anymore, and I was fine, and I was strong again. And maybe it's not a good example, but it's just a point of that, I wasn't acknowledging it. Like when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I didn't even acknowledge it. It was like, no, I'm fine. I could do everything. I remember somebody that I knew, they had a friend that had fibromyalgia, and they said, oh wow, like that's got to be painful, and they have to walk with a cane and all this stuff. And I said, no, I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm never using a cane. I don't have to walk with a cane. I'm fine. And I never got to the point where I needed assistance because of the fibromyalgia, and it's because I just spoke it into existence. So yeah, you're changing every second, and you might have noticed sometimes when you look in the mirror and you kind of might look like different, and it's like, whoa, what's that like? And not because you're changing, because you're aging, or you're gaining or losing weight or whatever, but I've had that sometimes where I'm like, wow, like that I look like a completely different person, because I've been manifesting certain things, like if you want like tighter skin, or you might just notice, like I've seen some people, and I've seen evidence of it because they showed pictures of they didn't have any plastic surgery, but they wanted like a smaller nose, a thinner nose, and they showed pictures of all they were doing was affirming for it, and it was a whole new nose. Like, I'm not even kidding. And they did nothing. They just affirmed, So your belief really is who you are right now, right at this moment, right at this second. So who are you going to be? I'll see you.